The filament of the first practical incandescent lamp, which I invented in Menlo Park, was of carbonized cotton thread. This was the first tinfoil phonograph.
In these late 80s, I invented the motion picture camera. The recording camera is what made motion pictures a success.
The lights that flicker down from the old chandeliers, the sound of music that fills the study, the motion pictures that preserve this perspective on greatness, they are the legacy of Thomas Alva Edison, whose story begins in another time, another century. 1848, Sutter's Mill. The cry goes up, the cry heard round the world. Gold, gold at Sutter's Mill. The rush begins, the rush to California that will multiply 100-fold America's migration west.
In these days of the great gold rush, in a small Michigan town, Port Huron, a young boy with an inquisitive mind makes ready to carry out his first experiment. Having been told that a mother goose hatches her eggs by sitting on them, Tom Edison, age 4, determines to do the same. Master Edison discovers that he is no goose.
Young America is experimenting too. The Pony Express, St. Joe to Sacramento, 2,000 miles in a week and a day, with Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody to carry the mail. Then a war to preserve the Union, bloody and bitter, from Bull Run to Appomattox. America is growing up, spreading out. The Iron Horse chugs and whistles, stops and goes, coast to coast.
Thomas Edison, age 12, is a newsboy and a candy butcher on the Port Huron to Detroit run. He loves science and sets up a crude laboratory in the baggage car. Every cent he can spare is spent on chemicals and scraps of wire. Here, hour after hour, he secludes himself with his books, his crude equipment, his curious mind. But this is no idle dreamer. Young Tom is also a businessman, the publisher and editor of the Weekly Herald, first and perhaps the only newspaper ever printed on a train. It has a circulation of 400 and sells for 8 cents a copy. One day, Tom Edison will double his sales and triple his profit. Passing through the train with his papers, he's stopped by a rich young passenger who takes every copy, throws them out the window, and commands his servant, Nicodemus, pay the boy. Before the train can start, Edison retrieves the papers. Having sold out at 8 cents a copy, he returns to the same car, selling the same Weekly Herald for 25 cents. Once again, the paper is sold out and thrown out, while young Tom pockets his windfall profits.
These are happy-go-lucky days, days destined to end suddenly, tragically. The fire is put out, and Edison, his traveling laboratory, and his printing press are put off. His hearing is impaired. He will be deaf before he's 13 years old. Then one of those accidents that alter men's lives and change world history. Tom Edison, age 15, saves the life of a station master's son. The grateful father offers to teach the young hero telegraphy. Edison accepts and starts on a new career, a career in which his deafness will not be a handicap. The Homestead Act, 160 acres for the asking, is opening up the West. And where civilization goes, the telegrapher goes too. Good telegraphers are in great demand, and Tom Edison is a good telegrapher.
He is something more, a tinkerer, an experimenter, a would-be inventor. He's also a young man with a sense of humor, a practical joker, more than willing to share a new discovery with old friends. Electricity fascinates him. It is, he says, like a long dog with its tail in New York and its head in Chicago. Pull the tail in New York, and the dog barks in Chicago.
But America still lives by gaslight and travels on horseback, waiting for someone, someday, to light up the night. The man will be Thomas Alva Edison, 32 years old in 1879. The place will be Menlo Park, New Jersey, the world's first invention factory, conceived, set up, and staffed by an inventor determined to make history's first practical incandescent electric lamp.
The Edison team works as one. The boys here work with me, not for me. All of us are co-workers for the prosperity of our country and for the world. Thomas A. Edison. October 21st, 1879. The search ends. The light burns on and on for 40 hours.
But the job is not done. Edison must prove that his incandescent lamp is practical. He must put a complete lighting system into operation on a large scale. There will be many more problems, many more inventions. Dynamos, generators, fuses, and sockets. 3 years will pass before a switch is thrown and 9 city blocks in New York come alive with light. Newspapers hail the triumph and salute the wizard of Menlo Park, Thomas Alva Edison, who has put at man's fingertips the light of the world.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
Thomas Alva Edison has done what no man ever has done. He has spoken into a machine, and the machine has talked back.
The lamb was sure to go.
The laughing song sung by Mr. George W. Johnson, Edison record.
Soon the talking machine, called the phonograph, will do more than repeat nursery rhymes. It will play back words and music, bringing a new kind of home entertainment to a world that, up to now, had little or no home entertainment at all. Millions will listen and laugh, hum and sing along.
You will see a fearful gap as I laugh. I could study else of laughing. I could study else of laughing. Shine, Mrs. Roman, clear up. Shine, Mrs. Roman, clear up. Leave us this sorry wonder. Lovely voices calling yonder. Shine, Mrs. Roman, clear up. Shine, Mrs. Roman, clear up. Lights are passing on water. And leave us when the sun is gone to rest, that's the time that we love best. Oh, it's lovely roaming in the gloaming.
Where did you get that girl? Oh, you Yankee devil. Where did you get that girl? Tell me on the level. Have you ever kissed her? If she has a sister, lead me to her, Mr. G. I wish that I had a girl. I love her. Oh, goodness, how I love her. You'll pardon my suggestion. I'd like to ask a question. Where did you get that girl? Oh, I will take you back, Kathleen, to where your heart will feel no pain. And when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take you to your home again.
This will be Edison's golden age of invention. He will develop the alkaline storage battery, the electric locomotive with speeds up to 40 miles an hour, the improved typewriter, and the Ediphone, a dictating machine for business use. The Edison effect lamp, patented in 1883, will open the door to television and the 20th century world of electronics. A variation of the phonograph is adapted to a talking doll that speaks, laughs, cries, and recites nursery rhymes. The demand for the dolls is so great that Edison must set up one of history's earliest assembly lines to mass produce them.
In 1887, the inventor moves his talents and his tools from Menlo Park to a great new laboratory at West Orange, New Jersey. Here he will remain for the next 44 years, his experiments and discoveries filling 2,500 notebooks. His working day, 20 hours and more, will become legend. So will the catnaps that he takes on a cot set up in his study, and his favorite saying, "There is no expedient to which man will not resort to avoid the real labor of thinking." If Edison demands hard work of others, he gives nothing less of himself. The spirit of Menlo Park is transferred to West Orange. When a job must be done, Edison will sometimes lock his associates in, sending their food to them, calling them affectionately, "My insomnia squad."
The results are astonishing. When he sets up his first invention factory in Menlo Park, Edison speaks hopefully of an invention every 10 days and something big every 6 months. Scientists scoff, critics sneer. And yet, in the years between his first invention and his last, Thomas Edison averages a patent every other week. His lifetime total, 1,100, is by far the greatest number held by any American inventor. To those who attribute his greatness to some mystical genius, Edison has a quick reply. Genius, he says, is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. His patience and persistence are endless. In working on the storage battery, he directs and carries out 50,000 experiments. The years do not change him. He is as dogged in his 70s as he was in his 20s. Asked once where his interest lay, Edison responds, everywhere. But the phonograph is and remains until his death his favorite invention. Entertainment and history, voices and events, The phonograph preserves them all, playing them back, making a forgotten song or singer, person or happening live again.
Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight. Cuddle up with all your might. Oh, babe, won't you roll them eyes that I just idolize.
We take you now to Lakehurst, New Jersey.
The ship is riding majestically toward us. It's practically standing still now. They've dropped ropes out of the nose of the ship. It bursts into flames. Get it started. It's crashing. It's crashing terrible. Oh, my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames and it's falling on the mooring mast and all the folks between us. This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's like 400 or 500 feet into the sky. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the frame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the fancy.
Home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. Oh, there's no place like home.
Right and left to the head, a left to the jaw, a right to the head, and Donovan is watching carefully. Lewis measures him, right to the body, a left hook to the jaw, and Schmeling is down. The count is 5, 6, 7, 8. The men are in the ring. The fight is over on a technical knockout. Max Schmeling is beaten in 1 round. The first motion picture studio ever set up in the world was in the yard of my laboratory at West Orange. The building revolved to follow the sun. We dubbed it the Black Maria because it was covered with black paper inside and out.
The Black Maria, the world's first motion picture studio, built at a cost of $637.67. Inside, Thomas Alva Edison's newest invention does for the eye what the phonograph does for the ear. The motion picture camera photographs in movement people, places, events. Edison applies for a patent on the motion picture camera in 1891, but it is 3 years before successful shooting begins in the Black Maria.
The actors are drawn from every walk of life, with prize fighters among the popular early favorites. Gentleman Jim Corbett, who commands a star's salary, $50 in 1894, remembers the Black Maria as the hottest, most cramped place I have ever known. At first, all filming is carried out in the makeshift studio. Cameras are few, film scarce, and so the performers must come to the camera. Soon the camera will go to the performer, traveling the world to film its people and its wonders.
Americans see these first motion pictures not on a screen, but in a peep show box called the kinetoscope. Subjects are simple. The American flag is one of the earliest films made on location. Soon, motion pictures of cowboys and Indians crossing the Arkansas River are bringing the frontier to the city. And scenes of 2 elevated trains passing on the 104th Street curve in New York are bringing the city to the frontier. The threads of history are passing through the kinetoscope, recording the events of its own time and preserving them for all time to come.
The kinetoscope has its lighter side, too. Many a man pays a nickel in 1896 to watch the sex queen of the 90s, Carmencita, perform a most daring dance. Humor is short, simple, and right to the point. Example, a film entitled Her First Cigarette. Another motion picture first is The Kiss. May Irwin and John Rice shocking America. The first of the screen's great lovers. Fairbanks and Pickford, Gable and Harlow. And oh yes, Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor.
The magic of motion pictures is taking hold everywhere. The demand is growing, and it will continue to grow until motion pictures are taken out of the kinetoscope and flashed onto a giant screen in a darkened theater. On April 23, 1896, at Questar and Biles Music Hall in New York City, Thomas Alva Edison introduces his latest marvel, a projector that shows its pictures bigger than life.
Between pictures, a short pause and a brief reminder.
Movie makers have become more advanced, more ingenious. Sensational news events are now reenacted, filmed, and rushed to theaters. The crime of the century, the shooting of Stanford White by Harry K. Thaw, is a sellout in theaters across America. Just as spectacular is a grim little reenactment entitled An Execution by Hanging.
In the field of comedy and humor, Fun in a Bakery Shop presents the first of the classic pie-throwing episodes. "100 tellings are not equal to one seeing," says an old Chinese proverb. Thomas Edison has brought a new kind of seeing into the world. There is a growing demand for new pictures, new ideas, new improvements. Edison and his associates are busier than ever. Up to now, the movies have been limited to short skits and single scenes, running a minute or perhaps a little more. Now the pioneer producers and the infant industry are ready to take a giant step. Motion pictures are going to tell a story. The story of a boy who traded his cow for a hatful of beans. The story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Fairy tale people are now real and alive. Jack and his mother angrily throwing away the magic beans. Ambitious sets, authentic costumes, and action that speaks for itself. Jack and the Beanstalk is a sensation. The giant who roars, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I think perhaps a boy has come. If he's alive or if he's dead, I'll eat him with a loaf of bread." The fine white hen that lays the golden eggs. And little Jack leaving the oven. stealing the hen, and setting off what may have been the first chase in motion picture history. Many a moviegoer fill in the words they cannot hear. Quick, mother, the axe! And many a theater rings out with cheers and applause at the death of the evil old giant.
To Edison, movies without sound are like ham without eggs. And so he builds a motion picture projector synchronized with a cylinder record to be played together. The result is a cartoon entitled Up in a Balloon.
The movie's first talkie is really a squawky. Change is the challenge, and motion picture pioneers are quick to accept. Scenery and settings become more ambitious. The escape of Eliza in Uncle Tom's Cabin is recreated with a river that really flows and ice floes that really move. Here, in its crudest form, is the beginning of movie magic. The death of Eva lifts to new heights the art of storytelling, acting, and motion pictures.
Now little theaters and Nickelodeons mushroom all over America. Inside, the audience watches the world pass in parade to the melodic sound of a tinkling piano. The czar of all the rushes struts and poses in his brief moment of glory.
Between newsreel and feature picture, a reminder to the ladies, a warning to the men.
And then the great train robbery, distributed by the Edison Company and destined to become the prototype of the motion picture play. The story, such as it is completely original, and the filming involves more actors in more locations than ever before. Plots are basic. Bad guys against good guys, with the bad guys dressed in black. Through the years, movies and plots will change, but the image of the big bad guys in black will not. It is barely 10 years since the first crude camera and delicate motion picture film made outdoor shooting all but impossible. But improvements and refinements are ushering in the era of the great outdoor spectaculars. The motion picture has conquered the masses. Unforeseen and unimagined is the impact that the great train robbery and its successors will have upon the minds of millions of people throughout the world. Motion pictures will surpass in their effect almost all other 19th century inventions by Edison or anyone else. But such significance is lost on the early moviegoers who can only sit and marvel at the cinematic sleight of hand that turns the fireman into a straw man. As the camera grinds on and time runs out, scenes and action change quickly. The station master's daughter finds her father, and just happening to have a 10-inch knife in her lunchbox cuts him free. Then a few drops of water and the wheels of justice start to spin. How many times in the years and movies to come will that Avenger of the West, the Posse, be summoned into action? And how many times, in how many movies, will the good guys and the bad guys battle it out to the death, and always with the same results? This is where it all begins, on a forgotten hillside, on a day long ago.
Times change. Thomas Edison does not. A national idol now, he keeps the common touch with plain people and with presidents. Henry Ford becomes a close friend, and the two men who led America into the industrial age take their camping cronies, including President Harding and Harvey Firestone, back to nature. In contrast to the colorless Ford, newspapermen find Edison good copy, outspoken, opinionated, and very often ready with a favorite quote or story.
One of the best stories I heard recently of the great economy of the Scots was during the total eclipse of the sun about 3 years ago in a small town in Connecticut. When it became a total eclipse, the Scotsman rushed into the telegraph office and tried to send a night message.
In the twilight years of his life, Thomas Alva Edison is acclaimed again and again as America's greatest living citizen. And yet he is a man whose formal education lasted exactly 3 months. Dismissed from school as unteachable, he learned reading and writing from his mother. These skills are all he needs to leave his name imprinted forever among the immortals of science. In 1929, on the 50th anniversary of the invention of the electric light, Edison joins with President Hoover and Henry Ford to dedicate a recreation of Menlo Park. But ever the inventor, Edison looks not to the past, but to the future, its challenges and its opportunities.
I firmly believe that the machine age will favorably affect the lives of the workers. It is impossible, however, to forecast what electricity and invention will make of the world 100 years hence. We don't know a millionth of 1% about anything. All theories, sooner or later, are abandoned for others.
When Thomas Alva Edison receives the highest honor his country can bestow, the Congressional Medal of Honor, the total worth of his inventions is estimated at $25 billion.
The inventor remains, as always, unchanged and unmoved. The vagabond vacations with his camping cronies are, for Edison, an opportunity to observe and explore in nature's laboratory. While mankind drifts into merciless commercialism, there are, says Edison, a few of us who are still human enough to enjoy the panorama of mountains, valleys, and plains. On one such outing, Edison is called upon to time a tree chopping contest between Henry Ford and naturalist John Burroughs, often referred to as Santa Claus in a raccoon coat. Burroughs fells his tree and almost fells Ford too, while the Flivver King chops on, beaten but still determined. Although he enjoys such outings, Edison makes it clear that he wants no part of exercise, calisthenics, or sports. I use my body, he says, just to carry my brain around.
The inventor is now in his late 70s, and by his own admission, working only 2 shifts or 16 hours a day. But Edison has no thought of retiring. He is searching for a cheap substitute for rubber and tells reporters, "I will stop working only when the doctor rolls the oxygen tank into my room." Laboring on what will be the last great undertaking of his life, the inventor reflects on the role of accidental discovery in scientific research. A man walks along the road intending to catch a train. On the way, his foot kicks against something, and he sees a gold bracelet on the ground. He has discovered that. Certainly, he didn't invent it. He did not set out to find a bracelet, yet the value is there just the same. It was in just such a way that Edison, working on an entirely different experiment, stumbled on the idea that led to his own invention of the phonograph. Whatever the road to invention, whatever the accidents along the way, Thomas Edison was a man prepared.
On his 80th birthday, he finds satisfaction not only in what he's doing, but in the improvements in what he has done. It is 35 years since George Eastman's photographic film and Edison's camera made motion pictures possible. A new dimension, sound, has been added. The movies have come a long, long way from the Black Maria.
Here's life.
May Irwin and John Rice have made way for Norma Shearer and Frederick March.
But I don't know you. I never thought you were a coward.
A coward? Yes, Robert, I'm a coward. A coward through and through. But it's not myself that I'm afraid.
I know that, my darling.
What's another disaster, great or small? To me, you have known little but disaster all my life. But you're a fighter. You were born for victory and triumph. Oh, and if disaster ever came to you through me...
Yes, a fighter. But I'm sick of fighting alone. I need a comrade in arms to fight beside me.
But not one already wounded in the back.
Wounded but undefeated, undaunted, unbroken. What finer comrade could a man ask for?
Oh, but Robert...
No.
But Robert...
No.
The General Slocum disaster has replaced the Thaw White tragedy.
Fire! Fire!
Blackie. Jill. Don't cry, Blackie. Oh, but Mom, she... I know. Mine too. And Bob. Oh, Jill. Don't you cry either.
Jack and the Beanstalk has yielded to another adventure in the sky.
Could only see. Are they like ours? Do they load themselves as soon as the air strikes them?
What? Don't what load?
The bomb. It's magnificent. I shall never forget it.
The bomb?
That left wing.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
I was frightened myself. Tried to tell you about it, but realized you knew your business better than I. Skill. Marvelous. I say I shall never forget it.
Waiter, will you serve the nuts? I mean, will you serve the guests the nuts?
Mimi, I'm afraid you're lying.
Sophisticated humor has done away with the slapstick comedy of fun in a bakery shop.
What's the idea of holding out on me?
You saw him yourself.
I saw him.
That was his body buried in the shop.
Nick!
Dorothy, it's terrible to have to tell you this way, but your father is dead. He's been dead for 3 months.
Pardon me. You have something on your coat.
Oh, darling, please don't cry.
Oh, Tommy.
It's terrible, I know, but isn't it better that way?
Here, I'll take care of her.
Tommy?
Oh,
Tommy,
waiter.
you sit here.
Will you kindly remove that?
I thought you'd never leave.
Baby, the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west. If it's 12 o'clock in New York,
Nicky,
automatically
Nicky, put Asta in here with me tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Aren't you going to give me a little credit?
What for?
Well, I've proved once and for all that the limb is mightier than the thumb.
Thomas Edison is now 84 years old. His health is failing, but his mind remains alert, and he still has his sense of humor. Meeting the press as he does every year, Edison is his outspoken, colorful self.
What do you think of the sound pictures of today?
What I think of the talking picture?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I never heard one.
What do you think of the Einstein theory?
I don't think anything of Einstein theory because I can't understand it.
How does it feel to be 84 years old?
Well, it feels very fine to be 84 years of age if you don't have anything the matter with you. Well, I have a little trouble now and then, but that's because I'm getting old. But I've got a lot of ginger yet.
8 months later, the light of life will flicker out for the Wizard of Menlo Park. The story that began in the days of the Great Gold Rush, the story of Thomas Alva Edison, comes to its end. Picture a world without the electric light, the phonograph, motion pictures. Picture a world without the greatness of Thomas Alva Edison.